Well, what did he want? We don't know, and we'll never know because that little girl didn't stay to find out. Good for her. But this was Saturday night, 8:15. She was walking on Christine Avenue, and that's when she said something really weird happened. She remembers the man following her and initially thinks that's kind of odd. And then he gets out of the car, tries several times to talk to her. She decides she's not going to stick around. She takes off running, and at the same time, she's calling for help. Now moms in this neighborhood are a little on edge.
It's horrible. I hope he's caught. But I'm glad she's okay. I wish I would have saw it.
What would you have done?
Chased him down.
Oh yeah.
You know, as a father, you know, it's close to home.
Oh, yeah.
Literally.
Fathers also a little on edge as well. The suspect described as wearing a black baseball hat, black shirt, black jeans, black shoes. She remembers him being between 25 and 30 years old. At that time, he had a freshly trimmed beard. She also remembers him having an athletic build and a distinctly deep voice. Police believe he fled the area when he noticed that victim on her cell phone. And now they're releasing this information, hoping that someone may recognize him or that vehicle he was driving that day. If you happen to recognize him, maybe have had an encounter with him at some point, you're asked to call the Hamilton Township Police Department. Thomas?
Want to make sure he doesn't do it again. Lauren, thank you. 5:39.
Karen, what we're seeing is a lot of rain. I'm sure you can hear it. We've put on our full rain gear, Greg and I, because this rain's kind of coming down sideways. It's a little windy here. Also, what has come down over here, a humongous tree. We are at the corner of School and Broad Street in Morton, Delaware County. This tree just looked like it snapped off right at the top, leaving that really large limb laying right across the street, making it impassable. And it looks like it brought down some power lines along with it and along the way. So this is going to be a really tough job for people, really crews that have to remove trees today after last night's really wicked weather. And Greg's going to show you just how really dark it is in this neighborhood and in many neighborhoods like this in Delaware County. I think at last count, 10,000 people roughly still in the dark. But look at this. When Greg turns his light off on the camera, it's really pitch black out here. Pico numbers saying only about 250 customers are in the dark in this specific area, but much more, as Steve just mentioned, over where he is. Check out this video we shot a few hours ago. Glendale Circle in Springfield, another humongous tree down in that area. That section of Delco is dark also to about 1,000 customers, according to the website. Now, last night, Jenny Joyce was out here in Delaware County, found some brave people who, despite losing power here, still managed to make it a great Monday by playing poker and drinking beer. So a lot of people are going to be inconvenienced this morning as far as waking up in the dark, trying to get where they have to go, and then really navigating and managing these roads. It is really tough. Greg still has the light out, so you can see, you know, without our truck lights, it would really be pitch black out here, Karen, and the rain falling pretty hard.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Lauren.
Yeah, Alex, you can't miss it. This is really actually a good situation, all things considered. It could have come crashing down on someone's car, someone's home. But what happened is it sort of snapped off there at the top and then tumbled down into the street. So now it's making this road impassable. The road is School Street, and it's right at the intersection of Broad Street here. And we think it's technically Morton. We are near Springfield, though. The numbers have been coming down since early this morning as far as the outages here. It was around 20,000 in Delco last night when Jenny Joyce was out here, around 9,000 this morning when we first arrived here around 3:30, and now about 7,500 people are without power. And what a mess it is and what a cleanup it's going to be for people. And a lot of people are going to wake up and find out this happened overnight, not really realizing it because it was so dark out here earlier. Check this out as well. Down power lines, really hard to see a little bit earlier when it was pitch black outside. Steve Keeley was seeing the same thing where he was. And check out the video that we shot a little bit earlier. It was over in Springfield at Glendale Circle. Another really big tree came crashing down. That section of Delco was in the dark as well. It seems, or it appears at a look at the numbers now, that the numbers have been coming back down in that area as well. So power crews and tree companies are going to be really busy today trying to get the lights back on for thousands of customers who are in the dark with nothing really to do today. So we're in the calm after the storm. Alex and Thomas, no rain, just a lot of mess and a lot to clean up.
Lauren Johnson has been live in Springfield all morning in Delaware County, and she's giving us an update on the efforts to clean it all up.
Alex and Thomas, I have to tell you a quick story before I show you about the damage behind me. A man and his children were sleeping in their SUV, just waking up, taking that comforter, some pillows inside the house now, probably to get ready for the day in the dark. And a lot of it is because of this tree that you see behind me. Apparently it fell in 2 phases yesterday. The trouble first started in the evening when that bad weather stormed right through our area. You remember it, around 5:30, and it was torrential rains. The winds were whipping while this massive tree snapped off at that time, fell right on top of the woman who lives in that home's. Her sister's car was parked out front. It was right on top of that. The borough came out yesterday, helped them get that cleaned up. The car was moved, the branches were cut, the driveway was cleared. Then several hours later, Rodina Lloyd says it went from bad to worse. Take a listen.
You got to worry about the cores because now it's leaning, the pole is leaning. And then next thing you know, from between Broad and Baker and all the way down, nobody has power. But when that tree fell, the other side didn't have power at that point because they were lit up. So it's been one heck of a night.
And one heck of a morning as you wait for PECO crews to make it over here to lift this huge limb right off that power line that it pulled down and hopefully reconnect it to get the power back on. They do understand that PECO says it could be 3 p.m. today before that happens. So a lot of people here have been without power for about 7 hours now. Not really fun. Rodina says she's happy that it happened after this heat wave. Can you imagine, with the cords laying out in the streets here, no AC inside? She's also happy that no one was seriously injured. So more of a waiting game now for everyone, Alex and Thomas, as they see what happens with PECO. But you know the crews are out and about, as well as these tree cutting services, trying to get these trees off these power lines and from blocking the roads here in this area. Well, let's get to Lauren because she's with Malcolm Jenkins. Yes, guys, not yet, but he's here. Listen to this. 400 families lined up down there thanks to ShopRite, a bunch of community partners, and as you mentioned, Eagles player Malcolm Jenkins. We're going to talk to him coming up after the break about this amazing event for these families.
Lauren is in West Philly hanging with the man. Good morning, Lauren.
Guess what Malcolm had the audacity to do standing right here? Oh, it's hot. I'm like, it's not training camp hot though, right? How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Why are we here today?
So this is our annual Get Ready Fest event that we do. We've done it in Camden in Ohio. Now we're doing it in Philadelphia, where we feed 400 families for a week, but also surround them with a bunch of community resources, resources for veterans, the elderly, their books, back to school products, free haircuts, things like that for people to just come get some help.
Chris is showing kind of what's inside some of these boxes the families are lined up on the other end waiting for. Why is it important for you to show up here today? Not just your foundation representatives to be here, but you personally to be here?
Well, for me, it's something I enjoy doing, to let people know that we're thinking about them, and people need help and they're going through different situations. So just to be able to be here, carry some boxes, give somebody a smile goes a long way.
Tell me this, it's hot. You already complained. You have to be on the field in 2 days, my friend.
Yeah, I'm hoping that some of this heat, disappears before we had to throw a helmet on. But, it'll definitely be a hot camp, at least for the first week.
What are you looking forward to this season? What's going to be different, if anything?
I mean, every year is different. Every season, presents a new challenge, a new set of circumstances. So really, this next month for us is just figuring out who we are, who we have in our building. Everything looks good on paper, with potential, but this is really our opportunity to mold as a team. And then, shortly here on after, we'll be strapping it up for real.
It's going to be an intense season, I'm sure. Talk about this because you're big on this, criminal justice reform. When you hear and see all the stories about violence in our community over the last few weeks and months, what does it mean to you?
I think, like anything, we have to keep things in perspective and deal with real facts. One thing I'm not quick to do is let one statistic kind of, paint the picture for what's happening. If you look at just crime and even violent crime in general, it's actually down from years past. But homicides in particular are up just a little bit. So, you want to make sure that however we respond to those things and put those out there, that it's in a responsible way, that we don't drive people to believe that crime is running rampant in the city when in all actuality it's really not.
As a person a lot of people in this community look up to, what would you say your message is to young boys in this community for the rest of the summer before we get back into school?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to shootings and homicides and all of that, at the end of the day, we have to give our youth something to live for and something to believe in. And a lot of that comes out of hopelessness and a lack of, vision for themselves. So, it's up to us to kind of intervene and provide opportunity, not just tell people to do better, but give them a way and an outlet to do such.
Before you leave here today, what do you hope these families that are lined up down there feel as they see a lot of your hard work and the partnerships that you've created?
Yeah, I mean, I hope they feel loved, at the end of the day. I hope that this helps, a little bit. It definitely doesn't change, someone's circumstance, but it may provide some relief. And hopefully us being here, being able to, love on people goes further than the food.
I see the sweat dripping. We'll let you go. All right, Mal. Thank you so much. Alex, Thomas, back to you guys.
Great effort. Yes, it will be cooler. Just in time for training camp. So you tell Malcolm. Karen, the owner says when he got the call in the wee hours of the morning, he knew something was not right here at his business. And when he arrived here, after making the 35-mile drive, he discovered utter destruction. The first thing he did when he arrived here, he went straight to his camera system to watch the video. He watched last Tuesday, just after 5 a.m., a white van pulls onto his property. Out jumped several men, all of them wearing hoodies, masks, gloves, and other protective gear on what would have been a really hot summer night. They stand behind pillars to hide them from passing traffic, and then suddenly a metal object gets thrown into the front glass window. Dirt bikes come flying out of the window. The owner says during the break-in, he believes someone drove by, scared the men because they left one of the dirt bikes on the side of the building before fleeing this area down Castor Avenue. Still, they managed to make off with $12,000 worth of off-road bikes.
I think notoriety breeds more. So if they see how they're getting away with this stuff and nothing's being done, why not try it? I mean, think about it. They got, $12,000 worth of dirt bikes out of here. If they got caught, criminal trespassing, some probation time, big deal. Yeah. So, why not do it? Why buy it when you can steal it?
And sadly, this isn't the first time. This store has been hit 4 times in just 6 months. When police released this video yesterday, they also told us a Bucks County store was recently hit for $75,000 worth of dirt bikes, bikes that are illegal on the streets of Philadelphia. So are they hopping on them and contributing to an already growing problem, or selling them to someone else who will contribute to the problem as well? Either way, all of it is against the law. So police are hoping that something stands out to someone in that video and they can help them track these men down and get them put behind bars. Karen?
Lauren, 4 times in 6 months, that is shocking. All right, thank you.
Hey, Karen, let's walk you through what happened. So the thieves decided to stand right here behind this pillar before they launched their attack. It could have been to hide from the passing people in traffic last Tuesday right there on Castor Avenue nearby, but they didn't hide from the cameras right overhead, and they captured the entire brazen attack. Let's watch it unfold on their surveillance video. First, the white van pulls into the parking lot at a Philadelphia Cycle Center. It's just after 5 a.m. Out jumps a small group of masked men who are all covered and well protected. Then they wait. Moments later, the glass shatters from the front window where they tossed a metal object to get inside. Once in there, they ran past expensive motorcycles to the less expensive dirt bikes in the back. They hurled them out of that window and then loaded the van up, and that getaway vehicle has the attention of police.
White van with some markings. They're not really that distinguishable in the detectable or discernible, I should say, in the video. But yeah, it looks like there's something that's been illustrated or marked or decaled on the van. So we would be interested if anyone sees a van that's otherwise white, but that has some sort of spots on it. Give us a call on that too.
So look closely again at that van and the markings on its side. You could help police catch the criminals, and the owner here surely hopes someone is helpful in this investigation. He's been hit at this store 4 times in just 6 months. Is it the same group? It's really too early to know, but he wants this group caught and punished properly. He believes that police and the DA are a little too lenient on criminals who commit acts like this. He thinks that if they are caught, they'll get off with some petty crime instead of more serious charges for costing him about $32,000 worth of damage. And that number, Karen, does not even include the 3 dirt bikes that the criminals got away with. That's what the owner says. It took about 3 minutes from start to finish when he checked his surveillance video. But outside the store, it started right there behind those 2 pillars. They hid there for just a few minutes before storming right inside the store through that now boarded up window. Let's watch it unfold on the surveillance video. First, the white van pulls into the parking lot at the Philadelphia Cycle Center. It's just after 5 a.m. last Tuesday, July 16th. Out jumps a small group of masked men who are covered and well protected, even wearing gloves meant not to leave fingerprints behind. The glass shatters from the front window where they tossed some sort of metal object to get inside. Once in there, they ran past really expensive motorcycles to the less expensive dirt bikes in the back. They hurled them out of the window to each other, loaded up the van, and then that getaway vehicle now has the attention of police.
White van with some markings. They're not really that distinguishable in the detectable or discernible, I should say, in the video. But yeah, it looks like there's something that's been illustrated or marked or decaled on the van. So we would be interested if anyone sees a van that's otherwise white, but that has some sort of spots on it. Give us a call on that too.
So look closely again at that van, the markings on its side. You could help police catch these criminals, and the owner here surely hopes someone is helpful in this investigation. He's been hit 4 times in just 6 months. This hit, $32,000 worth of damage. $12,000 worth of dirt bikes gone. Is it the same group as before? It's too early to know, but he wants this group caught and he wants them punished properly. He believes police and the DA may be a little too lenient on these types of thefts, especially since police don't pursue those dirt bikes when they are riding around the streets of Philadelphia illegally. So hopefully someone can help him get his business back in order. Thomas and Alex.
Yeah, easing those tensions, having this group out there and catching them. Lauren, thank you. 7:09.